Hello, friends. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our postseason interviews with one of your favorites, Josh. I am going to be bringing him on in a minute, but first, let me let you guys know that wherever you are watching this show, make sure that you follow, like, and subscribe Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, YouNow, all of those places. Give it a share, give it a share, give it a follow, and a share because we're live now. But share it later. You can also share it later when you get to the end of the show if there's somebody that you think might like it. And of course, if you've missed any of our previous shows, you can check them on out over at hellofriendspod.com. Of course, if you're listening to the podcast version, you can give a 5-star rating and a nice review. We always appreciate that too. I do now also want to say very quickly, because we are starting our postseason interviews, that as some of you may have seen, I wish this was more dramatic, although I do have a way to make it dramatic, but this is not dramatic. Obviously, Nicole got offered an amazing job going back to teaching full time starting next week. So she has decided to take it. We love her. She is still around. She might even be lurking on this one. But we are going to have so much fun. I'm going to finish these out for you. I'm sure there will be more in the future with Nicole. Don't you worry. You can follow her on her social medias. You know them. They're linked on the website. But now we have to get to the person who all of you are here for. It is the one, the only, Josh!
Hey,
Josh, how are you
hi.
doing?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
I am doing so great, Josh. Now, if you're not familiar, I mean, I know you are because we got to do our fun postseason interview with you, but this show is all about the fans getting to ask you their questions about your game. Of course, there's some things I want to talk to you about, and I kind of want to just kick it off right now with a really serious question.
Okay.
Why did you get Nicole to leave Hello Friends?
You know what? I actually offered her a personal teaching job full
Did you?
time. Yeah, to teach me how to play the game because
Oh,
clearly I didn't know how to.
well, Josh, no. No, of course I am That was my attempt at drama. I don't know. So many people want drama. I'm like, there's no drama. I can't do any drama. Um, Josh, seriously, I think you have to know how loved you are by the fan base, how upset everyone was to see you, out of the game so early. I mean, what was that like for you? Just to see all that love.
It's so strange because the perception of you inside of the house and outside of the house was just like so different. I
Mm-hmm.
had people in the house coming up to me being like, you're the villain of the season, right? And I'm like, "Ah, me? Interesting." But then coming out, I was not the villain, and everyone was just pouring so much love onto me, being like, they're so mean to you, which I don't think they were, for reference.
You don't.
Uh,
I mean, here's what
I
I'll say. What 'cause people are always like, you never say what you say during the shows. Um, it felt like people were isolating you. Like it really felt like if you would walk into a room, other people go out. And I want to put the disclaimer of we are all aware these people are playing a game. We are talking about their game. We are not talking about them as people in the real world. They're all amazing. But in that moment, it's like your last week, it really felt like people went out of their way to like isolate you. And I mean, I think that's what fans reacted to,
it
or.
They did. I won't deny it. It wasn't like the most awesome feeling in the world, but like you can even see it in like the edits. Like I just started laughing about it to myself because like the reality is like in the nicest way possible, I was not looking for validation from any of the other house guests. Like I'm really confident and comfortable in my own skin. So if they wanted to be my friend or not in the house, I mean, probably should have tried harder. Maybe I would have stuck around, but like that's also just like not who I am to try to like force like friendships.
Mm,
So like I like if people wanted to work with me and like it made sense for like a significant portion of the house to work with me, and they opted not to, and I think we saw a lot of people like regretting that decision. Um, and I and that I mean, yeah, and then I also did have like a couple of like lashing outs at me, which is always so strange because like I was the one checking in on everybody emotionally. But the thing that freaked people out in the house that I've come to determine after the fact is that like I went into the house wanting to be like my authentic self, my genuine self, which is a very caring person, but I'm also somewhat aloof. But the caring side, it scared everybody in the house because they couldn't comprehend that somebody could actually like care about them in like the middle of a game. But like I genuinely did, so no one was really trusting me. And I think that's a learning opportunity for them. um and you know they did isolate me. They have to watch back the clips of
I
how they treated someone, and I
I will say this, and this becomes the thing of like, what is right, what is fair. It is a game. It is early game. Like I try, and I think a lot of people try and understand that it is early game. People don't want a target on their back. You were the target, and
I thought it was
early
more
on,
fun that way.
yeah, it just becomes like, nope, stay away from the target. Early game, we don't know. But I know for me, it was shocking. I'm not used to seeing that on a Big Brother Canada season. I feel like the way Canadians play Big Brother almost is
Mhm.
very like, I'm going to vote you, and this is why. I cannot beat you. And I am sorry to say that, and you might still vote for me, and that's the way it is. We're all being honest.
Yeah, that is kind of how it was, and like you could see even on like the season, like on the edited episodes, I was getting really frustrated with everybody being like too kumbaya, wanting to hold hands.
Hmm.
Um, like I was just like, this is boring. Like, let's do something more exciting and interesting. Stop pretending.
Right,
Like,
right.
stop pretending alliances aren't happening. Stop pretending that you're not like you don't have a final two with that person. Stop pretending. Like we have eyes. Like
Yeah.
you guys are not that sneaky. You are not that like good at hiding what you're doing.
And that's why people loved you, because you would call out exactly what I think we the fans were seeing. So I want to talk about that a little bit
That
too.
strategy.
And yeah. I want to talk about that a little bit too, and remind the people that you guys can put your questions in whatever chat. I know it is new fancy technology, but I see some people are confused where to put the questions. Wherever you're watching, wherever you are watching, put the questions. I will see them. I'm magic. Okay, now, watching it back, I mean, I feel like seeing the things that you've said post-season, watching some of your videos, it was clear to me that you were playing the game. I know there are a very few people that are critical or be like, we didn't see a lot of Josh. We feel like Josh didn't do a lot. What do you want to say to those people?
Uh, those people, a lot of those people are, I think they need to maybe expand the horizons of what they think the game should be, because the game would
Right.
be boring if everybody was playing the exact same game that they've seen of 8 seasons of Big Brother Canada or 22 seasons of Big Brother US, and then however many seasons of every other version. Like, enjoy people trying to play a different game, trying to do something different and new and fresh. That's how to keep like the entertainment value of the show
Hmm.
alive.
Right.
Like that. as much as like this is a social experiment, like let us experiment with it socially and don't be so critical of the game. Like it's
Right.
not a football game. Like there's more to it than that. There's dynamics. And like the reality is like I started the game. I forced people to play the game. I like the lasting effects of everything I did because people decided to call me out on some stuff, very poor game move on their part. Honestly, the lasting effects lingered until final 2. There was stuff that I called out in week 2 that was lasting and being hidden, um, for a very long time. Like,
Yeah. No.
it made it interesting.
I want to be a little bit more specific. I see
Okay.
Jackie Knows over on YouTube says, Josh, do you feel that your edit missed any of, your important moments?
Well, I will be honest, like, while I was on the show, the edited episodes were heavily Josh. So it's just, there's 24 hours a day of like 14 people. Of course, they're not going to catch everything. Yeah, it missed the fact that I cut a final 2 with Kyle on day 1. I was trying to pull Victoria into an alliance, and then Kyle and Rohan were becoming friends. So I was already suspicious of Rohan. So then I invited, I was like, all right, Kyle, let's just invite Rohan into the alliance. And then they cut out, and then I had my whole blow up on day 3, which like there's a lot of things to it.
Hmm.
And then which also blow up is like I didn't dub it that, like the other house guest did. I
Right.
think is something to vilify me, which like my blow up was a lot more so like I just like everybody so much, and I don't want anybody's story to be cut short because like this is the most diverse season of all time. I don't want to pull away from that just yet. Like let us get to know each other before like just pitting each other against each other
Right.
in like this very like important season. So it was just like a very different like mindset to be in. So like that was my blow up. And then so then I was vilified for that. And then they cut out uh their no that like they did cut out like Rohan talking to me about backdooring Jed. They did cut out me trying to recover my relationship with Kyle and Rohan. And me like trying to get Jed on the block. And well, actually, like that was who I said, but like I wouldn't say the name out loud to Kyle and
Right.
Rohan because I didn't trust them as much as they didn't trust me, but I was trying to rebuild that relationship. Um,
Hmm.
so they cut out like all of that, and then they cut out a lot of like my pitching to people
I wouldn't I
when I
wouldn't say
was
they well, I
pitching.
mean, yeah, I guess they did cut it out. It
I don't
didn't
want to say
make the
cut out that
edit.
it couldn't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we saw it. I mean, that's what we saw on the live feeds, but yeah,
mm,
it didn't make the edit. I think that's the hard part about playing, about the early people and the people that go so soon. There's so many storylines that they have to follow. Um, but I mean, so are you saying like because it's I have such a horrible memory, but I kind of remember I kind of remember it was you being up against Julie. Obviously, people
mm,
of the LGBTQ community. Are you saying like
I
you
forgot about that.
felt you would rather Julie get to be more represented than you in
Uh-huh.
that
I
moment?
didn't want Julie to go home first.
Right.
That's me talking to Julie was like me trying to like give her a heads up and like try to start working with her and maybe we could go against somebody else on the team, but instead she did what she did. Uh and she proved uh that like she was gonna have a big mouth. Sorry, Julie. And then so everyone just like let her like it was a very easy flip to get Julie out. Like literally, I think the flip was me an hour before eviction, just
Yeah.
walking into every room going, "We're voting Julie." They're like, "Okay."
I have to say, my favorite thing that Nicole did during the season, and if you guys have not seen it, you need to go watch it. Like she did a lip sync to the Julie and Toya like in the bathroom, like going back and forth. It is the
Oh
funniest thing I've ever
gosh,
seen.
I need to
It's
see that.
on okay, and then don't look at the Josh one that I did. I feel like I
No, I
had
think
a
I did see the one you did. It was just you going,
I wasn't it wasn't good.
like,
It wasn't good. I felt like I had the Josh impression down as long as I was like, "Guy."
yeah, I have a bit of a vocal fry, and you do watch, it is true, if you actually watch through, like, my, DRs, my hair is different in every single one.
Yeah. It
The
was fun.
hair continuity.
I always get so annoyed. Like it honestly never fails that the people that I'm like, "Oh, this is somebody that's going to have a sense of humor." Like it's so hard after I've been covering Big Brother for 12 years now, like every iteration of it. It's
Yeah.
so hard to keep making those shows interesting unless you have like fun things to joke around with and I was like, "Oh, thank God we have a Josh. We're gonna have so much fun this season." And then I'm like, "Oh." So you
Yeah,
really ruined my experience is what
I'm
I'm letting you know.
sorry,
This is about
and
me.
I will call everybody out. I will say, objectively, I think I gave more interesting DRs than most of the other
Yeah.
house guests.
We I want a season of Big Brother, and I'm not even kidding about this, but I know they would never do it because then they have to keep everybody sequestered. But like they should somehow put you guys somewhere where you get to see like everything that's happening. I guess you don't have to be sequestered for it, but then like you can pop up. Like remember pop-up video on MTV where like
Yeah.
the little thing would pop up and people would say stuff like people can just be in the DR and then you could pop up and be like, "This is bullshit. My DRs are better."
Yeah.
This is what they mean. I told you so. But you're getting this question from so many people. I'm going to take it from Destiny's over in
Hey,
you now.
Destinies.
Is if you were in the jury, who would have
Mm,
gotten your vote and why?
Ty.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, I like Ty. Like,
Well, who
that's
doesn't?
pretty
You
much,
have eyes, right?
uh,
So okay, we're all
yeah,
on the same
true.
page.
No, Ty, I think he played like a perfect, like on paper game. Like he played the game that everyone that like reviews everyone's games is like mad that everybody else didn't play. But
Mhm.
they're also not giving him credit for playing that game. Like he found a couple, he hid behind them and let them take the heat. He started to win when he had to win. He stayed off the block the entire time. He had great relationships with everybody. I really enjoyed my relationship with him because he was one of the few people that was like, you guys saw us share our personal stories and stuff in like group settings and stuff, but like he and I would have like really deep, meaningful conversations, like one on one off to the side, like just he and I. And then so I just liked him that like I just respect him a lot as a person.
Yeah.
I think he has great values and like I just enjoyed my time with him, and I think he played like a very stellar game.
Yeah.
Not to take anything away from Braden, who I think also had to play a great game too. He had to navigate losing Austin and everything. But I also like that Ty got cutthroat. Like I want to see my Big Brother contestants just be like turn on their people, just flip them off on their way out the door, and then they can be friends after the show. Like that. That's what I want to see, and he
Okay,
did that.
so what if it was Kiefer and Ty?
Ooh.
Since you like cutthroat and alliance flipping.
I think that one would depend on who won the final HOH because they both
Okay.
played very good games, very different games. Kiefer was rooting for me, and, like, Kiefer and I don't wanna say we were, like, low key working together, and Kiefer also was very, he would just, like, sit and chat with me while everybody else, like, wouldn't, but,
Yeah.
like, so so I also like him a lot for that. Um, that's a tough one.
That's a tough
It would
one.
be
Okay.
it would be the final HOH deciding factor.
I see a lot of people asking, what is your relationship like with Victoria now postseason?
I haven't really spoken to her much just yet, and that's not shade, don't take it as shade, you guys. It's just I'm giving the house guests, like, a week or 2 before I start, like, I've DM'd everybody and said, like, "Let's FaceTime when you're back into." It's very jarring coming back into the real world,
Hmm.
uh, and, like, I don't really wanna talk game with any of them, like, maybe so, like, I'm excited to be friends with Victoria, but I'm giving her a little bit of space to, like, come back to terms with life.
Right, right, right. Well, I will say that I can ask her anything you want, Josh, because tomorrow, Victoria will be joining us at 6 p.m.
Hey!
Eastern for her fan Q&A, where we will be, you guys can ask Victoria all of your questions. I want to see you two together. I want a Josh and Victoria show.
Yeah, she and I, like, we were ready to give good TV, like, that's what our conversations were about. We're like, "How do we
Hmm.
make this good?" So yeah, I'm excited to get to know Victoria outside of the house.
I, I love that. Now, I'm not sure if this is, we have some serious questions. I'm going to start with this one. I am not sure if it is the real Ian Terry because but it could be.
The internet.
It's the internet. Um, Ian wants to know, did you ever get the pet chicken you wanted?
No, I have not gotten chickens just yet. I'm waiting for Tina to get her chickens and I can go visit those ones.
Okay.
But no, I live in a condo, so I can't, well, I could have a chicken,
Well, you
but
could. Why couldn't you?
I already have a cat and a dog. Like adding a chicken into the mix just like might be like a bit much.
Okay, now people are gonna stab me because like we're not allowed to go off Big Brother, but we need to talk for a second, Josh.
Mm,
We're gay men, okay?
yeah,
I
that is
think that
correct.
we're smarter than a lot of other people.
Uh,
I we are. I don't understand why a smart, intelligent person as yourself would think that a cat is an actual viable option and call it an animal.
a cat. Well, okay, so I got my cat. I was swindled into it by an
Oh,
old lady at a
swindled, good
pet
word.
store. Yeah,
Yeah.
she like I've been thinking about getting a cat, but then I was in a pet store and there was an adoption agency inside of the pet store. And then I saw a cat and I was like, that's a cute cat to this lady. She's like, do you wanna pet it? And I was like, okay. And then she was like, here you go. And then she left me in a room alone with it for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And then we
Psychological
bonded.
warfare.
Yeah. So then I adopted the cat, and
What
I was
now?
also lonely. I needed something.
Right. And so now I imagine that at night it sits on your chest and sucks your soul out when it's not busy clawing at you with its horrific claws and killing dogs.
No, she's actually very chill and nice. I like my cat. I
Okay.
don't really like other cats too much, but my cat's very nice. But and she doesn't sleep on me, but she does in the morning, like sit on my chest and like start grooming my facial hair.
Mm. They're evil. One last, one last. I'll get in a million messages about how I hate cats. People still don't get this joke. One last animal question. Maximus' mom wants to know: did you ever have your whale dream analyzed?
No, but I have dreams about whales a lot. I have a lot of very vivid dreams watching that clip back.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
I don't remember who was outside with me, but all the clip the clip of me telling that story with just Ro being so unresponsive beside me. I'm also a stream of consciousness when I
Okay.
start talking, so I
Yes.
don't take it personal because it's hard to keep up.
No, it's just that's what we do. We're all over the place here. I want you to know, okay, that if you have a whale in your dream, I am seeing it as a symbol of your awareness and intuition,
Yeah.
but it is also a warning to you to be more social and to speak up more.
Well, wish I had a
S-
dream diary or something in that
Yeah.
house.
So like literally your dreams were trying to help you out in that game.
And
Uh
then the game right after I left had whales and stuff in it.
yeah, yeah. So, you know, little too late, Wales. Next
Yeah,
time we need to be a little more specific. I never understood having to analyze the dream. Can't the dream just tell us the thing? Like just say it.
fair.
That's a good thing to do too, dreams. Zizi wants to know what has been your favorite experience with any of your castmates post season?
My favorite experiences so far has been well, the only one I've seen since the show ended is Julie, but Julie and I we would watch the episodes together and like that was always kind of fun and we could get excited about that and honest like just just being nice with each other.
Just being
Like
nice.
yeah, like before we had like the finale, I sent everybody like video messages wishing them like good luck and like that's super sweet and just like um being friendlier with Latoya and like texting her.
Uh-huh.
Like I like that friendship a lot. Bugging Kyle and Austin. Um that's fun.
Okay,
I
okay,
just
so I
have a
okay,
ton of
I think first of all, I think you and Nicole are the same person with your video message to people like the way you guys
fun.
handled the game and postseason game. You're both like such good people that are like, I love everybody, and here's a video, and let's all be besties.
Yeah,
I think
outside of the house, let's be besties. In the house, like I'm gonna
and
throw you under the bus.
those are the best players. Those are the people that I think like I know I love to have on the show. I think those are the players that 80% of the fans love and appreciate and get. And I think there's 20% that are always confused. Like, how do you separate game and the real world? I don't get it.
It's it's also just like I work in like a pretty intense industry where like you kind of have to do that already. So like I'm
Right.
so tuned in to doing that. Like if we just like instead of game we say work, like just
Right.
kind of having to like flip back and forth. So like I'm pretty equipped with doing that already. And I think even like if you talk to some of the house guests, like watching the live feeds and stuff, I think they were able to actually recognize that I was able to do that. And
Mhm.
there was a few people in there, like they won't admit it. They might, but like they were scared of how far I could go if I stayed. Like while everybody was saying, "Oh yeah," just like there was like legitimate fears that I would go very far in the game because of
Right.
like my abilities. And I think they knew like the second I wasn't on the block and they couldn't just isolate me, I'd probably develop like a lot deeper relationships with everybody
Mhm.
than
Yeah.
most people had.
I see Melanie over on Twitch wants to know what was the most shocking thing you learned after you left the house? So is there anything that happened either in the house that shocked you to learn or anything that was happening in the real world that you found out that shocked you when you got home?
Hmm. I mean, if you guys can't tell, I was able to see everything that was happening in the house. Like, so nothing really shocked me. Like I was surprised that Latoya was a police officer, but like
Mhm.
once that information was said to me, like it registered very quickly. I'm like, that makes a lot of sense. Um, Not really,
Not really.
honestly,
Okay.
like, no.
Okay. All right. We
Yeah,
got. That's totally fine. You're allowed
yeah,
to. You're allowed to not. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Were from YouTube. Oh, I don't see the name. Were you mad at Austin for not taking a big shot and just targeting you? And then I have seen other people say, "What is your relationship like with Austin? Have you guys talked about things postseason?" So, what do you want to say about your relationship with
okay.
Austin now?
Well, I'll start with how I felt in the game, and then I'll transition to how I feel about Austin now.
Mhm.
Uh, I'm just being dramatic. Uh,
I love it.
in the game, like, it's like I think I even like consoled Austin after she put me up, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that makes sense. Like, this like makes sense for you and what you're trying to do and how you're playing like your game." Like, I was an easy person to put up because I didn't have those very strong alliances, so
Mhm.
like it made sense. Held nothing against her in the game, and it's so funny. Like, I remember I didn't like there was like a tea gate with Austin at one point where she was pissed that I gave her a cup of tea when she had put me on the block or something. But like I'd literally just asked her, like I was boiling water and I was like, "You want some tea?" like, like it didn't register in my head. Uh, so that was pretty funny to see after like that she was mad about a tea.
Mhm.
Um, and what I'll say to that is just like I'm not mad at her for not taking a big shot in the game, but I think ultimately her not taking a big shot is the reason she left 2 people or 3 people after me. Let's be real, there was a big alliance, y and you guys didn't take her shot. Like, you didn't win the game because of it,
Right.
unfortunately. Like, these are decisions that, like, play out if you don't go after the big alliances early when you have the opportunity, they're just going to go after your side of the house. The house was very obviously split.
Yeah.
Go against not the person that you can pull in as a vote, you go against the other side. like it didn't make sense. Like if it was me in that position, I would have just been like, two big targets, you're up. See ya, guys. Have
Right.
fun. But for her trying, like she even said, she just wanted people to forget she ever won a HOH. She wanted to fly under the radar, but unfortunately, just how she'd positioned herself somehow
Mm.
in the house, she couldn't really fly under the radar as much because she was in like a duo with Braden.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
it just like all the duos became so obvious. Like
Yeah.
it was very weird to be around. It was like, really, we're not going to pretend that you guys like aren't this close, like to a whole bunch of people. And then post show, like we text, like I'm not sure if you got like we text a whole bunch. I'm trying to start Joshton for trying to squish out Kyle. Sorry, Kyle. Yeah, no, we're friends.
Okay. I think this one is obvious, but you did get it from a lot of people as well. I'll take it from Weeping Willow 96 on YouTube. Would you come back if you were asked to do another season?
Yeah, I would go back. So I think like personally out of this season I got like everything that I wanted to and needed to just like as like a growth opportunity for like me just becoming a better person. Um but like I want to actually play the game that I was like going in. I want to go back into a house and just like stir the pot as much as possible and like do whatever and just like I mean, I would go in a little different strategically, but I would still just want to cause chaos and just like make an entertaining season that like had everybody guessing.
Right.
Yeah.
Uh Franco over on Facebook says, obviously Josh deserved to be in there longer. He's such a great person to all his fans, which goes to show what a good person he is.
Aw,
He would have
yep.
been in to be in an alliance with gone way too soon. Josh for All Stars.
Oh, you never know. Maybe.
You do. You do. You never know. I honestly Uh, d I I think that they're well, I have a lot more of these to do, so I'm not gonna say who I
I
who
think
I think
there's
are
a
the people that will go for
I
All-Stars,
think
but,
there's
they could be
validity
you.
to everybody doing All Stars that's done the
Yes,
show.
everyone.
I personally, what I would like to see if they're gonna, do a massive hurrah of a season, I do not want to see the played out lay low until week or day 50 and then start playing the game. I do not want to see a single person in an all-star season go in with that strategy. Cutthroat,
Yeah,
everyone against each other, everyone for themselves,
never seen
make
that.
it wild, make it dramatic, make the audience keep guessing. Like, I want chaos. Like, that's
I
what I want.
think we all want that, and I don't ever see that happening on an all-star season. They would literally have to cast people that they know legitimately for real have issues in the real world, and I think in order for that to ever actually happen. Otherwise,
Then
everyone's
do it.
talking. I know, I agree, then do it, but I don't think they will ever actually do it. I see a lot of people saying for you to weigh in on the Tai and Braden relationship. Now, here's how I kind of commented on this during the season. Like it seemed like I don't know. We didn't have the opportunity to really ask either of them directly, and I'm
Mhm.
also not one to be like you have to talk about something if you don't want to. For
Yeah.
me, and I love Tai, I kind of felt like Ty was maybe using the relationship is relationship too strong of a word because I don't think Ty felt that's what it was, but we knew
Mm.
from the live feeds that Braden, was walking around humming I love you, we're going to be together forever. And I'll keep it light. I'll just say that like hurt me thinking like, oh, this sucks if this is not genuine. And I also realize I'm a hypocrite because if it was a guy doing it to a girl or a girl doing it to a guy, I'd be like, I love it. I'm here for it. Do it more. Make him cry.
To that, I'll say, well, one, Ty is just kind of fun to flirt with.
He is.
He just like has like a natural charisma, so it's just like it's easy to kind of just like start flirting with him.
Hmm.
Um, I think that Braden said in his final speech that maybe he was the one using Ty. Like, let's not discredit
Right.
Braden for being able to do this, just because I'm unclear why we can't imagine that Braden could be using Ty and it has to
Yeah.
be Ty using Braden.
Right.
They're both in a game, they're both consenting adults, and, that's just like a reality of the game that they played, and,
Yeah.
like, they both made it to final 2,
They did.
so, uh
I just want them to be together in the real world.
but Ty also has, like, the love of his life already, like, out there.
Uh, did the love of his life help him win $100,000? I don't think they did, Ty. So I'm gonna need you to go
Uh,
find Braden and plan your wedding.
yeah, I'll be the ring bearer at that wedding.
I will be
Or the
what
flower girl.
I'll be whatever they want. What what is your relationship like now with Tara postseason?
She actually FaceTimed me right before this because I was her nephew's favorite player this season, so I was just saying, "Hey." Tara and I had a great relationship in the house, like, we were friendly, we chatted all the time, she would also hang out with me, you guys saw that I gave her my toque. Toque, for any Americans, is a beanie.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, we're friends, I can't wait to chat with her after, like, again, just giving people some time because it's a lot to take in. Like, right when you leave the house, it's a lot, and, like, at least they've had well, she didn't really have that much time. Like, I was thrown right into it, like, I had my phone back the same
Mhm.
day I was evicted. It was a lot. It's a lot to take in, so I just, like, being, like, aware that everybody needs to take a moment because, like, not everybody's reception online is the same that I received. Um, in fact, most people's is not the same that I received. I received so much love and,
Mhm.
like, so little hate. Well, once I, like, by, like, my eviction week.
Mhm.
Um, so, like, it was very easy for me to take in, whereas, like, I know other people are just like, there's a lot more, and when you're there longer, there's more stuff for people to discuss.
Right.
So it's a weird, like, I'm just giving people space.
Okay. I see Lisa at Blingaling over on
That's my
Twitter.
mom. Pretty
That's
sure.
your mom?
I'm pretty sure. What does she wanna know?
All right. Well, she says, Josh, I don't really have a question, but just want to say the person you're doing this show with is so amazing. I think it's great. Oh, he's the best. What's he like? No. He says it wasn't coming up for some reason. It was so early, so hard to navigate. But did you have to answer Jed's house meeting questions? Could you have pled the 5th?
Uh, well, I was well, okay, what happened in that house meeting? I got yelled at, um, no, I wanted to. Like, I was having fun with it, like, people weren't helping me out, so, like, honestly, that house meeting helped me out. It showed that Jed was an emotional player. It
Mhm,
showed Roe and Austin weren't as trustworthy as everybody was under the impression that they might be. It
mhm,
was a catalyst for the flip going in my favor for quite a while.
mhm.
Um, and it was good TV. So, like, screw it. Call another house meeting on me next time I'm on.
Yeah, it's
Call
so
one every
weird. Don't
week.
I think that everybody coming out of the game always is like, "God, I wish I had all this knowledge before I went in." I know everyone hates not everyone, but I know so many people think this is an unpopular opinion. I legitimately would love to watch an entire cast have a second chance. Maybe not the following season, but maybe like I want to see the same exact people that know everything they know now redo it. And what I just think it would be so fascinating psychologically, but I know everyone seems to not be loving returning players these days, but I would love to see a returning cast.
I think that would be like a fun
Yeah.
thing and just like, why not? Like,
Yeah. Um, Robin wants to know if you knew someone going on Big Brother Canada, what is one piece of advice you would give them before they went on?
don't take advice from me.
Oh, that okay.
uh, but a real answer, bring chapstick. A lot
Uh,
of it.
okay.
It's very
Chat,
dry in there.
is it?
Yeah.
I pre-COVID days, we always used to get to do the Big Brother like finale interviews from the house and it's
Yeah.
now it's been like 2 years since we've been there. I didn't remember it being that dry.
You're also not
Denise,
living in the house.
that's
There's
true.
no like there's no windows or and I'm also
Yeah,
from Vancouver where we have
right,
like beautiful, like nice humid air that's very moisturizing. And then
right.
I'm in the middle of Ontario
Uh-huh.
in this dry air with like no windows and it's all circulated and just I'm a very fragile boy.
Okay.
I need
Uh,
moisture.
you need moisture. Now, one of the things I don't know that you can plead the fifth here. Um, One of the things we saw you talk about in the house is, you wanting to get your own place, you wanting to settle down, maybe start a family and
Hmm.
all of these things. So there are a lot of people asking, is Josh single still ready to mingle? looking for love, and what does he look for in a guy?
So you're
Mhm.
hearing it first. I actually kissed Austin in the ball pit. I'm joking. That's a
I
reference.
swear to God, the question from Flynn, Charming in chat is, did Ro actually kiss? Did you and Ro actually kiss in the ball pit? I was getting there.
We'll leave that for Ro to answer.
Okay, all right, we will grill.
Um, uh, yes, I'm still single. Uh, what do I look for? That's a great question. Someone that's just like equally as like
Yes,
interesting as me.
yes. Okay,
um, yeah, I just like want I like there's no like type. It's just like when it clicks, it clicks.
okay.
Yeah,
Here,
you know?
as someone who has been married for almost 20 years. I know I look young. I thought you were gonna be like, I like opposite because opposites attract. No, they don't
Oh.
after 20 years, Josh. Okay. So you want the same? Because I'm gonna kill him if he doesn't show up. No, I'm totally
Yes.
kidding. But yes, I
I
always tell that to people. I'm like, you don't opposites don't attract long term. You want
honest
someone that has similar interest in you. It's
I yeah, similar interests. Like I want someone who wants to talk about like science and like the future of the
oh,
world and like horror movies
okay,
and
I'm with
like
you there.
sci-fi movies and I like is like interested in just like kind of like I'm a bit of a futurist. Like I love that kind of stuff, discussing that kind of stuff. That's kind of dark, very sarcastic, a little awkward. Uh, these are
Okay.
all great things to me.
So you can slide into Josh's DMs if you meet those qualifications, or
Oh,
maybe we'll
they're
just
already sliding in. Don't you worry.
to the GMs to be clear. Now, what, Josh? I can't help what you say. Okay. I'm here to protect you. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. I can't even believe
Uh
that we're
huh.
almost out of time.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I cannot believe that we that we
I
are
know.
almost out of time, but we do have more questions that I want to ask you, and I do want to
I'll,
get to them. I want to remind everybody again, don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe wherever you're watching. Share the show when you get to the end of it, and check out our website, hellofriendspod.com, for all of our posts and interviews with everybody. You can see our short like 10 or 15-minute interviews and how things are different with them now. um a lot of people were asking, what was your favorite season of Big Brother Canada? What was your favorite season of BBUS?
season 5 was my favorite Big Brother Canada season.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
I think that just like goes without saying.
Right.
Like,
Right. Okay.
feel
I
like
mean, okay. Why?
okay.
Who was your
Just
favorite?
I think everybody on that season was like a standout player and like person. Um, I really like Kevin. I also really like Ika. So
Well,
like those two, like they're awesome. Um, and then Big Brother US, like I will be honest, I stopped watching in my early 20s. I started getting into it when like I stopped watching once the Canadian version started. But I got into it with what was I don't know if it the season that Frankie Grande was on, I think was my first season of Big Brother US. I'm not saying that's my favorite season, but that's
that
like the
was
first season that I got
uh,
into that drew me into Big Brother US.
that was 16 because that was Derek's season. Yes. That's a good season. 16 was a fun season. I mean, yeah, 16
Or I might
was I like 16. Yeah. And I
I
mean, you
liked
got to
some of
see
the earlier seasons too. I can't pinpoint one, like, but like just the ones that like Rachel was on was just like ridiculous. So like that's always fun when there's like someone that's just like such a standout person that like
right.
is very polarizing.
Mhm. Did, was there, did you watch All Stars? Did you watch BBUS All Stars this, past summer or fall?
No, and it doesn't sound like I missed much.
On behalf of Nicole, I would like to end this interview now because the answer we were looking for was yes, Nicole is the best part.
Yeah, of course, Nicole's the best part, but everyone on Twitter is upset about that season.
I know. Well, I mean, it's BB Twitter. We love them. We're in those streets. We all
I
like to get angry about a lot of things. It's what we do. Um, okay. So, do you what is the Mad Dragon 13 over on Twitch wants to know, what do you think is the best sci-fi TV series of all times, since that is something you said you're interested in? We have some good Twitch questions
Mhm.
that I think Twitch will like the answers to.
Go series, go watch, Neon Genesis Evangelion. Uh, it's an anime, but that's very
Right.
fun, would recommend. It's very about, like, the human condition, and it's kind of, like, very have you watched it?
I didn't, Josh. I think you're so much smarter than me, and you say like science, and I'm like, Dead by Daylight? I feel like we connected on horror. Do you like Dead by Tell me you know about Dead by Daylight, Josh, over on Twitch.
Don't know Dead by Daylight.
All right, well, that was Jackie's question over on Twitch. You get to play a killer, we do how about Among Us?
Okay,
Do
okay.
you know Among
I've
Us? It's
played Among
basically
Us.
Big Brother.
Yeah, I've played Among Us. I've been, Bruno hosts
Oh,
every
yes.
Thursday. I've played, like, 4 or 5 times.
Okay, all right. Now have you won them
Uh,
as killer?
as no.
Imposter.
I've only gotten to be the imposter once. Out of
Okay.
all the games I've played, it was me and Austin, we were both the killers. She got figured out real fast, and somehow, like, I squeezed by pretty far, but we didn't win.
Okay. All right. Because we want to see it. We love that. I know Bruno does that. I know
Mm,
Cody does that. Over
yeah,
on
Cody's on
Twitch.
some.
Yeah. Alex says favorite horror movie.
Let's go The Shining or Scream.
Ugh, we agree on Scream. Okay, in Dead by Daylight, Josh, you can
Mm.
be Ghostface as the
Oh,
killer,
okay.
and then you hunt survivors that are also actual people controlling those survivor. It's very fun.
Okay, okay.
It's very fun. We do that
I'm
on
gonna have to
we
check
do
it.
that. You will. You will. I will. If you like gaming, I it's basically free everywhere now at this point. Okay. Is there anything that you want your fans, Josh, to know about your game? Is there anything that you feel like this is something that I don't feel like was shown, or that I wish
Mm,
would have, that I would have said while I was in the game?
uh, things I want people to know about my game, honestly, like, it's pretty, like it started out different. Like, it started out with me doing, like, the standard, like, make an alliance and blah, 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 and then things went down, and then I pivoted to the game that I started playing, and
Right.
honestly, like, that's the game that I found more fun. Honestly, I just it was very fun to stir the pot, it was very fun to get everyone upset, it was fun to have everybody pressed. Um, I enjoyed that, like, even though, like, it did was reason for them to, isolate me a little bit, it
Mhm.
was just very it was fun to do, honestly. The fact that, like, my impact, like, had them talking for so long. They were talking about me on those feeds for a while
They
slash
were.
months,
Right, they were.
and
Well, go ahead.
that's just, like, I don't know, just to, like, know that there was, like, that level of impact, just from me being in the house is really cool. Um, and, like, the fact that I left second, but left a lasting impression on the house. Like, I don't think a lot of people that leave that early are able to say that.
Right.
So that's very fun. And then just like with my being isolated, like, I was friendly with everybody in the house. Like, we did have, like, nice one-on-ones with
Mhm.
everybody. Unfortunately, I don't think a lot of those made the feeds just because, like, more interesting stuff was happening slash people were playing Never Have I Ever in the hot tub again, I'm sure. I never wanna play Never Have I Ever again in my life. I could not do that anymore.
Right. Okay. No, I believe that you would
Yeah.
not. That you would not. I want to end with a really serious question.
Ooh, okay. I feel like you're lying.
Can you tell that? I was gonna
Yeah.
say, how much do we both love a deep V, and why is yours deeper? But that's not what I'm gonna say because I got one
A
from
deep
Zuri
V, I'm not in the V-neck.
that looks a little deep V-ish. Okay, it's fine. It's
It's
not.
wide.
Oh, got it. Just as Zuri wants to know, Josh. Genuinely, I need to know this. I'm not even kidding. This is not a joke. Please find out. What is the conditioner brand that Josh uses? His hair was perfect always.
Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I think my usual conditioner brand is there's like a Bumble and Bumble one that's like surfs. It's
Yes.
supposed to give you like beachy hair.
Mm-hmm.
I use that a lot, but I was out of that in the house, so I was just using like whatever was there, which but then I always make sure to use like a saltwater spray just to give myself a little bit of texture.
Mm.
And then I use layerite clay to hold everything in place. And
Um,
yeah.
okay, so there you go, Zuri. And I have to say, future boyfriend perspectives, he's buying Bumble and Bumble, so he's got money. Uh Josh, where can people find you on social media? Where do you want people to follow you? Of course, we'll put the links to all your socials below this video, but where do you want people to follow you?
You can follow me on Instagram at Josh Farnworth, and then you can follow me on Twitter, which is is it Josh BBCAN9
Can
or is it
9.
BBCAN9 Josh?
Josh BBCAN9, I believe.
Thank you for knowing my Twitter handle, and I don't.
Okay, that is good. So you know where then to follow Josh for what the links will be below here. Josh, thank you so much for taking time out on this
For
Saturday to
having me.
chat with your fans.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure talking. Gladly talk anytime.
All right, we will have you back to talk next season. Thank you guys so much again. We will be live with Victoria tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern, so come on back. Don't forget to share, like, subscribe, hit that bell, thumbs up in YouTube, share the show. We really appreciate it. We will see you guys all soon. Bye for now, everybody. Bye, friends.
Bye.